Good evening, everyone. Lovely to join with you all. Seeing some familiar faces already. I'm in a hotel tonight in London. It's the smallest hotel room that looks nothing like the picture on the brochure. I think I've got a little bit of echo going there. Can you move? Yeah, well done. Vikki sat on the floor, my partner, because of the limited space, and there is a lot of noisy people in the corridor singing songs. And so I hope it doesn't disturb the presentation for you too much. Welcome, everyone. We have a lot of people joining this evening from a lot of different countries. And I would like you to please write hi in the chat and to say where you're joining from. It's a very international audience. In the last Warrior Within, we had people joining from 9 different countries. And so please say where you are. If you're in the UK, say which town, which city. If you're in another country, please say that. If you are new to goal mapping, if you're new to Warrior Within, if you don't know me, I'll tell a little bit about myself in a moment, because I know that we have quite a number of new people joining this evening that are being invited as guests. And so if you're new, say that you're new. And if you are a regular on the masterclasses and you've been to Warrior Within before, then let people know, please, that you are a returning warrior. I can see already many people here tonight who've been on Warrior Within maybe 6, 7 times. Ganilla every time since the beginning, and the physical version of Warrior Within. Great to see you tonight, Ganilla. Nice to see you, Mary Louise. Nice to see you, Dorothy. These are all people that are regulars with Warrior Within. Many people repeat the program as part of their ongoing personal development and refresh their maps. And I'll be going into the PowerPoint in just a little while, but I'd like to take a moment. I'm going to bring up the chat. And for those of you that know me and know my story, dyslexic, so sometimes a little slow on reading the chat. I have overcome my learning difficulties. I've actually learned to speed read, but when reading people's messages, I take it a little slower. What would be fantastic, because I know it helps people, if you are a returning warrior, if you've been on Warrior Within before, and you're going to attend again, or just here tonight to look at the overview, I'd like you to say in just 1 or 2 words, like yourself, Ganilla, Mary Louise, everyone that's been on Warrior Within before, just in a few words, would you say what it did for you? What was the breakthrough for you? What was it that you really enjoyed about Warrior Within? Because it is the deepest of all my content. And people that have been certified in my goal mapping, life mapping, action mapping systems continue to come to Warrior Within and have breakthroughs, as I do. And my partner, Vikki, because it's a very experiential program. And so what were some of the breakthroughs for you? And I'm just looking through the chat at the moment. I'm seeing people joining from Denmark, Wales, Bucharest in Romania. Lovely to see you. I've got people coming in from Ireland, Bulgaria, Sweden. And we've got people from the US, West London, Lancashire, Croatia. Been to Croatia recently. So beautiful. Anyone here has never been to Croatia or Bosnia, Slovenia, make it your bucket list. Put it on your list of places to go. I'm wowed by it. People joining from Bristol, Essex, Croatia again, and from the Isle of Wight. And so what is it that Warrior Within has done for you if you're a repeating warrior? Ganilla writing from Finland. I'm an old one, not too old, Ganilla. And a Warrior Within and Shine, physical version of Warrior Within. People joining from Lithuania. So I'm just going to scroll down a bit further to see if anyone's written some of the breakthroughs we've had. been on Warrior Within many times. People joining from Canada, Swindon, Cornwall. Isle of Wight have just finally got down there. So got somebody saying it helped me to dig deep and accelerate my new coaching business. That's great to hear. I was reading back through some of the testimonials on Warrior Within, and it's helped so many people in so many different ways, helping people to raise their confidence, raise their self-esteem, get over some grief or bereavement that they've suffered, or change their lifestyle completely and get themselves into a new working life. We've had people that have found their partner by being on Warrior Within. People have found their dream home. They've goal mapped it on Warrior Within. And it's helped people that are going through relationship difficulties to find a new level of strength in themselves. I'm going to come off the chat and go into the presentation to start moving through. Just put my screen share on and give me a thumbs up, please, if you can see my screen okay, just so I know, because I'm not in my normal setup with my home studio today. We're in this hotel. So a Warrior Within, for me, is the best program I have created in terms of helping the most people in the most different ways. And whether you're feeling a little low in yourself, as we all do from time to time, as life goes through highs and lows, no matter how much you develop yourself, there still comes a low, some difficult things to deal with in life. And I'll be very honest, hand on heart, it's been a difficult time recently, emotional things with family outside of control, but you have to choose your way of being in those difficult times. If you're feeling low in yourself, if you're feeling unmotivated and unsure, a lot of people feel like they need to have a breakthrough this year. People feeling stuck. If you're feeling alone and you're looking for a heart-centered tribe, the thing that I have come to love about Warrior Within is the heart-centered community. And we run it twice each year. We run it on the equinox, so 7 weeks, but we form the equinox, the equally distant point between winter and summer is the middle week of Warrior Within. It's always week 4. And so it's a balance program. It's about bringing balance to yourself, and it's about bringing more balance to your life. And it's one of the things that people tell me why they repeat the program, because we make it very simple for people to repeat. In fact, people can come back for free and bring a guest at a really discounted bargain price once they've attended the first time on the program. And so if you're looking for a community that supports you, if you're looking to increase your confidence and self-belief, if you're feeling low or unmotivated, or want that breakthrough to make this the year that's life-changing for you, then tonight is most definitely for you. I started my journey, my life completely changed 1993, 1994. And I'll share my story with you in a little while. But from 1994, I've been full-time speaker, trainer, and coach. And in that time, the message for me has stayed consistent, which is your thoughts create your reality, both in yourself and in your life. And this will be one of the main teachings this evening, is how your thoughts shape your reality. Life is many different things, of course, but one thing we can say is that life is a path. My path has been a little unusual. I was born into a traveling family. My ancestors are carnival people, gypsies, and circus people. And this is my great uncle and his wife in one of the main old circus families here in England. This is my great grandmother and her traveling amusements. And this is my father's fun fair. And this picture was taken the year that I was born, 1961. And it's a meaningful photo for me. I grew up in this life of traveling with the amusements. I had many different homes each year and not much school. I only went to school for a few months, and it was different schools, depending on where we were living, because we were traveling often. I left school before 13, no qualifications and unable to read and write. And instead I become early entrepreneur. And this was my first investment at 13, bubblegum machine. And then the next year, pinball machine. And then at 15, my big business breakthrough, Space Invaders machine. And then at 18, I become the youngest person in the UK, United Kingdom, to be given a license to open a nightclub. And I opened a disco in 1981, and it became very successful. This is me at 19 with my adamant face paint and frilly shirt look. And I was a DJ for 10 years. This is my DJ box, and the nightclub I opened became very successful. It was in a lot of music magazines. This is me and my brother together. And my brother's 3 years older, but we run the nightclub together, 3 years younger rather. And it was a lot of success, and it was a lot of fun. I made a lot of money. But then in the late 1980s and early 1990s, things changed. And again, they were outside of my immediate control. And it was unexpected. And what changed was tourism. English people stopped taking their main summer holiday in England, and instead they started going to the Mediterranean. And it meant that the nightclub I had run out of customers, and it just came to an end and closed down along with the rest of the family business, because it was a seaside tourism business. And it was a very sad time. It was a time when all of the hotels were closing down and the different resorts were closing down, because the English people were not coming anymore to the English seaside towns, and they were going to Spain. And my customers went to Ibiza. They were not coming to the Isle of Wight. And so at age 29, I was in a really difficult situation, which was that my business had ended. I was in £1 million of debt. My home was repossessed. My marriage ended. I had no qualifications because of leaving school before 13. I had no work experience because I'd only ever worked for the family business or myself. And I couldn't read or write. So then I couldn't even fill out a form, like job application form. It was dark situation. I don't know what your situation is now, but let me tell you, if you are facing a dark situation, remember the darkest point is just before the dawn. It's sometimes when life is looking most dark, most hopeless, that actually there is a light coming. And the light that came for me was that in my desperation, in my big life change, I joined a multi-level marketing organization, and I wasn't any good at it, but it was a great blessing because it introduced me to personal development, and I found an amazing life coach. He was one of the first people in England teaching really practical personal development about how you raise your self-esteem, how you learn the science of thinking positively, and the importance of setting goals. And he liked me. I went and confessed my situation. I was so embarrassed. I'm £1 million in debt. I'm homeless. I can't read and write. And I confessed my situation to him. He was running a training program to teach positive thinking for people to set goals about their sales performance. But when I told him my situation, he showed me not only how I could set goals and use positive thinking for my sales performance, but how I could use it to overcome my learning problems. It took me 1 year to teach myself to read. And in that same 1 year period, I took my sales performance from the lowest person in the team to the highest person. And lots of my team and lots of people in my local community wanted to know, how have you done that? I was also more positive, more confident than I'd ever been, because when you achieve a big goal, like learning to read at age 30, the feeling from achieving the goal is just amazing. I was so motivated, so inspired. I wanted to tell other people about what I was learning, and I learned to speed read. And I was reading only personal development books. And within 6 months, I was realizing I need to apply all of the things I'm learning in these books to my life. And in particular was the science of positive thinking. And the more that I applied the principles, the more success I was enjoying in life. And I realized all of us have an inner power. It's like a hidden power. It's like a secret that is there for anyone to discover. But as is said in so many traditions, you must seek to find it. If you seek, you will find. Not maybe you find, all right? If you seek, you will. It should be underlined. Find. What do you find? Well, actually, what you find is yourself. You find your true self, and that is the real prize of life. It's an ancient teaching. You'll find it all over the ancient world. It's missed, unfortunately, by many modern teachings and psychology. But if you look into the ancient teachings, the teaching of becoming your true self, it's in the North American Indian culture. It's in the Indian culture and Eastern culture. It's in the Sufi culture. And you'll find it everywhere. It's in the Druid culture, but missed in the modern world. And as I learned these ancient secrets about how to unlock your inner power and your potential, it just become more and more important to me to teach what I was learning to others. And then I was recommended to a big training company in London, and I was taught how to teach the work of Tony Robbins, Stephen Covey, Brian Tracy, Zig Ziglar, and Tony Bazan, the man who created mind mapping. And I was going around the United Kingdom running workshops, and I would give just short presentations, like 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours, and mostly to salespeople and people in multi-level marketing. But I was running workshops every week, and so many people said to me, Brian, I wish someone had explained this to me when I was young. It would have made so much difference. And I heard it so many times from so many people. It started me thinking, why wasn't this included in my education? I didn't go to school very much, but all of the times I did go to school, nobody ever talked about the power of positive thinking. Nobody talked about the principles, the fundamental principles of success. People talked about math and English and science and biology and chemistry, and those things are important. But nobody taught me about the science of the mind. Nobody taught me about the science of how to set goals. And I was setting goals and achieving them. But the thought grew in my mind, why aren't we teaching this in schools? And why is it? Is it because there's a right way and a wrong way? If you don't get all of the principles of effective goal setting in a your power to manifest your dreams. What I started to consider is that most teachers don't really understand the science of goal setting. They know about goal setting. Many of them, of course, are doing goal setting, but there is a science. And the more we get all of the aspects of the combination in alignment, the more fully, the more quickly, the more powerfully we achieve our goals. And if we are missing one or two of the principles, if we're not in alignment with the combination, the lock is either not opening at all, or it's not opening enough, or it's slow. And in tonight's overview of the Warrior Within program, I want to share with you what I believe are some of the important principles to understand and to live by in your life. Driving my car late at night after considering all of these different aspects, I had this breakthrough in 1994 at midnight, driving my car through London. In fact, it's 30 years this year. In May, it will be 30 years that I had this vision of goal mapping. And I saw the goal map, as you see it on the screen now, complete, words and pictures. And I knew immediately this is an answer to my question about how to set goals in the most powerful way. And it took me some months to work out the detail, but I understood the essence that when we set goals, it's really important that we use a balance of words and pictures. And the reason why is because we need to stimulate the left side of our brain, or logical mind, that thinks with words. And we also need to stimulate the right side of our brain, creative mind, by using imagery. And these two sides of the brain also connect with conscious mind and subconscious mind and universal conscious mind. Goal mapping is a way of communicating to your subconscious and becoming consciously clear about what it is you want to achieve. This is one of my very early goal maps from 1996. And on this goal map, I'm stating that I want to teach goal mapping to the world. I'm going to teach in different countries. I'm going to write the goal mapping book and get it out to 50,000 people. I'm going to create family program. I was in a lot of debt at the time, so I'm saying I'm going to pay out my debt, have a good bank balance. And you can see down on one side, I'm speaking in a seminar because I've got lots of people there watching me. I'm going to be on TV, going to speak in a church, get my children's material together, etc., etc., all of which has been achieved. Over 30 years, more than 5 million people have created goal maps. Over 1 million students. I've been on TV in many countries. Here in Finland at a spiritual conference, here in Norway, but also in England, Ireland, Egypt, many different places, different magazine articles. And I'm really not saying this to try and impress. I want to impress upon you one key point. The system works. If you go work it, the system works. Because I could reel out for you story after story after story of people using the materials, and it's helping them to achieve their goals and dreams. I've written now 4 books. They're in many different languages, 16 different languages, and they reflect the 4 mapping systems. So far I've talked about goal mapping, and goal mapping is focused on achieving things. When you create a goal map, it's about what do you want to achieve and why do you want it and when and how and who's going to help you. But then there is another mapping system, life mapping. And life mapping is about being your best. When you create a life map, you send a command to your subconscious and the universe to help you be your best in all the different areas of your life. It's linked to prime purpose. Prime purpose, and I will talk about it again later, be all you can be. It's the prime directive of life. And in a life map, you map out a blueprint of you being your best. And by using your map, it helps you to be that way a little more each and every day. Action mapping is focused on changing behaviors. Once you know what you want in life and you've worked out the way you need to be, so your leadership qualities, qualities of character that are going to help you walk your path and do the things to achieve your goals and dreams and wishes, the next thing to consider is, who will I need to be in my behavior? Because if you've got a vision and a good intention, but you've got a behavior that is creating havoc in your life, then we need to bring the behavior into alignment, because that's when we find our true power, so that our mind and our heart and our actions are all in harmony with each other. And this brings us into self-mapping. And self-mapping is a way of becoming your true self. Each of these mapping systems combine with each other. And I'll give you an overview of how this works as we move through the evening. My first coach helped me to completely change my life. It took me some years to pay off the debt. It took me 10 years, but I paid off the debt and become very prosperous, and did so many good things working with different people. And then my coach died. He died quite young, but fortunately, another coach come into my life. And this is Bruna Ferrari. And Bruna has become like a second mother to me. She's Italian, and she has been more my spiritual teacher, whereas Mike Rosewall, my first coach, was more of my practical teacher. The things that Bruna has taught me have been life-changing, and I've included all of them within Warrior Within. It is an esoteric program. The meaning of esoteric is it is taught to only a few. Each of the great ancient teachings around the world have inner teachings that is only for those people that are really committed to develop themselves. And you'll find many similarities in all of these ancient teachings from different cultures, different places. What they represent is the secrets of success, the secrets of how you find peace and harmony in yourself, of how you bring balance to your life, even in a chaotic and turbulent world. An example of esoteric knowledge is, one moment, keep getting messages coming up across the top of my screen and it's distracting. This is Rumi, and Rumi was a 12th century Sufi mystic. And this was the first piece of wisdom that my godmother, teacher, Bruna Ferrari, introduced me to. And it's a riddle, and you have to work out the meaning of the riddle. And I'm going to bring up the riddle for you line by line. It took me weeks to work it out. I've become so frustrated trying to understand what the man was saying. A while, as want may be, self I did claim, true self I did not see, but heard its name. I, being self-confined, self did not merit, till leaving self behind, did self inherit. Now, what do you think Rumi here is saying? 1200 years ago, however long it was, Not quite 1200, is it? No, but it's quite a long time. What do you think he's saying? And if you know it, write it in the chat. And because we're on a limited amount of time, let me tell you the clue here is in the letter S. And sometimes you'll see that self is written with a big S, a capital S. And sometimes you'll see that self is written with a small s, lowercase s. In the ancient world, small self, ego, was written with small s. High self, spirit, connection to the source, big S, high self. We have two. We are born as one. We are born whole. But with the birth of ego, age 2, 3, we have a division. And the division is high self and low self. High self connected to spirit. It is the seat of our soul. Right brain, and it's our finer humanitarian qualities, love, empathy, compassion. Our right brain connected to the heart and the high self. It's the home of inspired inner wisdom. It's purpose-centered, which means that it is others-centered. Now, in balance, our low self, left brain, and it is home of our ego. It's fear-based, survival instinct. So it wants to protect you. And it's self-centered in its very nature because it has to protect you. The true goal of life is to bring these two selves together in balance. And many people become unbalanced into their low self. And the low self ego has a lot of power, but it's really not designed for leadership because it lacks heart and it lacks true vision. Whereas the high self is designed for leadership and the low self is designed to follow through, like a leader and a manager. When we bring the two together is when we find our true power. We become our true self. It's the long journey home. And this symbol with the two interlocking triangles, you will find everywhere around the world. And many people say, oh, it's a Jewish symbol. Yeah, it's also Hindu symbol. You will also find it in ancient Greece. You'll find it in Druidism. You'll find it in many places because it expresses the ancient fundamental principle of high self and low self, masculine and feminine, held together, the divine interaction and balance of opposites. That when you explore ancient wisdom, goes right down to a cellular level. And even with physical matter, it's going down to an atomic level, where you have this balance of energies that form particles that create everything that we see around us. There is a core teaching, a deep teaching in Warrior Within. There is a light at the heart of your being. Seek it, you will find it, and become illuminated. When you shine from the inside, you light up your life. Regardless of the challenges you face and those things, you make the most of it. And it helps other people find their way from the shadows because you shine a light of inspiration. I, in my heart of hearts, believe that we are born with a great light inside of us. It is as natural for you or me to shine as bright as the sun rising every day. And when we shine, it gladdens our heart. So if it's natural, why do we not shine all of the time? Because the journey of life is often tough. And many people are not receiving enough love, genuine, unconditional love when they are young, and they're forming negative beliefs about themselves that create negative thoughts, that release the chemicals that also create negative feelings. And very often we form a mask. It is not the true self. We only see actually a reflection of ourself. Life is a journey of high and low, always. No matter how successful we become, there will still be lows. And some days we rise up and we find our shine, and other days we fall down into shadow. Many people become stuck in the middle. They're not quite high, they're not quite low, they're just gloomy. The joy of life has gone from them. Warrior Within is about learning how you can choose to shine. And when you use the techniques to choose to shine and live your life above the line, and when something isn't working out the way you wished, you choose your thought and you live above the line. And when you do that, you find your flow and you lead your life. Here is above the line thinking. Here is below the line thinking. Whichever way we think begins a chain reaction. The thought releases chemicals that give us feelings, that produce attitudes, that influence behavior, that become habits, that influence our life. And choosing to see the best of us is so important. That is what a life mapping is for. And although I've been teaching these techniques many years, I'm still creating my own maps. Got my self map, my life map, my action map, and then several goal maps. One about purpose, and this is my Warrior Within purpose goal map. And then I've got more maps for the important areas of my life. And the mapping systems come together to help me hold a positive picture where I'm seeing my best and even being more, because by doing that, you start the process, you trigger the process of creating it, rather than what happens for so many people, which is they become stuck in seeing themselves as less than they are. When you think you are less than yourself, when you are constantly comparing yourself to others, or you're thinking you're not good enough, the chemical release lowers self-esteem. And so you become more and more unsure of yourself and insecure and comparing yourself to other people or other things. Sometimes feeling good, you think you're better than them, or sometimes feeling worse because you're not as good as them. But really, it's just about being happy with yourself and focusing on what's best about you. That doesn't mean you ignore those areas of you that need to improve, that you can work on. But it's by choosing your thoughts about who you are being when you're being your best, and the goals that will really help you grow as a person, as well as help you to improve your life. That is what really helps us to move to a higher level of true success. We have billions of brain cells. They're all separated by a small gap called the synaptic gap. When you have a thought, it begins in the middle of the brain cell, it travels along the branches, but the gap stops your thought from just spreading and spreading and spreading. The key thing to understand is that when you choose a positive thought about yourself, about your life, about your situation, tough situation, and it's outside of your control to immediately change it. By choosing a positive thought about it, it helps you to have a better feeling towards it. And that starts to help you to see some ways that you can cope with it, some things that you can do. Because when you think positively, you release serotonin, and serotonin not only gives you the feeling of happiness and well-being, but it's a neuroconnector that bridges the gap, allows your thought to continue, and triggers those aha moments where we find answers to problems. It helps us to activate both sides of our brain: the right brain, vision, creativity, and ideas; left brain, strategy, plan, action. It's by activating both sides of our brain that it helps us to be effective. When I started teaching goal mapping in 1995, I really thought, wow, I found something new. And nobody else is teaching about setting goals with words and pictures. People are only saying words. There was no dream boards or vision boards, any of those things in 1994, 1995. Vision boards and dream boards only started later. All of the books, even from the world's top trainers, Tony Robbins, Stephen Covey, even the goal-setting experts, Zig Ziglar, they only said, write your goals. None of them said also include a picture to activate, stimulate both sides of the brain. And so I thought, I found something new. And then a friend invited me to a Hindu ceremony in London. And I sat there with my mouth open, watching the Brahmin priest chant the mantra. So he's repeating the words while drawing a picture, a yantra. And then I saw with Buddhists, they're chanting the words, mantra, left brain, and they're creating mandala with colored sand, right brain. And then I saw Zoroastrian also does it. And I realized this is an ancient system that uses the same principle of activating both sides of the brain. And in Hinduism, it's one of the oldest parts, mantra and yantra. And it's thought to be 10,000 years old. And why did they do it? Because it works. It works. That's why the Buddhists did it. That's why the Hindus do it. That's why they still do it. That's why you'll find it works. And somehow it's been missed very often in modern psychology and training. Dream boards started in around 2000. They're very popular. They do work to some degree, but they are also lacking power often because they have no words. I see some people have dream boards, just some nice pictures, nice feelings, but there's no words. And we need both sides of our brain. Remember, right brain, right brain, high self, left brain, low self. We want our ego, but we want it integrated into true self. Lead with the right brain. Manage the journey with the left brain. And the more we find the balance, the more effective we are. And this is why you will find that the most brilliant people that have ever lived are people that achieve this brain balance. And it's achievable for all of us. Okay? Wherever you are right now, whatever you're doing, whatever your situation, the more you find balance between right brain and left brain, and you practice the principles of positive thinking, the more you will elevate yourself to a higher level, not just in your consciousness, in how you think about it. Remember, the thought releases the chemical that creates the feeling. In addition, that same chemical, a serotonin, nourishes the body. And when we think positively, the serotonin release boosts our immune system. It helps us right down to a cellular level. And this is why doctors are now changing much of their prescription. This is why mindfulness, meditation are being included now in treatment plans. It's fully understood that when we are positive, all of our body systems are helped. It brings them into balance, and we become invigorated and we repair damaged cells. And when we're negative, it's the opposite. And when you're negative, you release cortisol and your brain and your body shut down, and you become anxious and fearful, and the world starts to look a dangerous place, and you lose hope, and many people in depression just give up to the point, of course, of ending their own life. Understanding the simple science, and it's an ancient principle. Again, in the ancient world, it was taught by thought, word, and deed. We make and shape our world. Okay, it's not just by thought. You're not just go and it's going to come. And it's not just by having a good feeling, but we also need the action. It's the trilogy that creates true power. And this is the journey we take in Warrior Within. And for me now, it's been 30-year journey where gradually I've developed these systems, written the books, created the materials, but it's the online platform, the development platform where we run Warrior Within, that has really brought it all alive, because we're able to combine it all in the 7-week journey of the Warrior Within program. We are all unique, and there are also some things that are the same about all of us. And one of the universal principles that is the same for all of us is that all of us are a combination of thoughts and feelings and actions. And they're in a cybernetic loop. Now, what that means is when you change one, it's going to affect the other. So if you change the way you're thinking, that changes the chemical release, that changes your feelings. But also it will change your physiology, body posture. So when we're very positive, our body is very upright and shoulders back and it's open. And when we are fearful and negative, the body is closed and rounded. When I was first learning personal development, I understood the simple teaching, the science of think a positive thought. It releases the chemical. Serotonin's the same chemical that Prozac releases. So I understood all the science quite quickly. I found it difficult to apply it because I was in a world of fear and I was in a load of debt, and my life, it was hard to think positive because everything was going wrong. But I met this amazing coach, and one of the things he taught me was, when it's difficult to think positive, act as if. Okay, physiology first. Change your body posture. Put your shoulders back. Push them right back. Lift your head. Okay? Breathe in deep through the nose, out through the mouth. In a few moments, that will send a signal to your brain, and it will change the chemical release, which joins the brain cells, which starts to cause you to think differently, see things differently. That same chemical release of serotonin then causes you to feel differently. There's a lot of techniques I use around mudra breathing. And again, we include these in Warrior Within. And maybe some of the people have done Warrior Within write in the chat about the mudra breathing. It's a very simple thing. It has a profound effect, especially if combined with other things. If you combine it with oils, for instance, if you're combining it with the breathing technique we do, but if you're combining it with your maps. Right? So we bring all of these different elements together. And we have some new things that we are going to include this year for the first time. Repeated thoughts. So in this cycle of thought and feeling and action, or action, thought and feeling, because it flips around both ways, the thoughts that we repeat over and over become habits. You see, a habit is not just a physical thing. It is also mental and emotional. Repeated thoughts are a habit. We call them beliefs, but it's a thought you've accepted as true, and you just think that same thought. You don't question it anymore. Repeated feelings become attitudes. Repeated actions become behavior, routines. And it's these three elements, beliefs and attitudes and behavior, that create our persona. The Italian, the Latin for persona means mask. It's not the real self. It's actually the low self. But it's through these elements of belief and attitude and behavior that we make and shape our world. And on Warrior Within, over the 7-week journey, we are helping people to get clear about their thoughts and beliefs, to boost their feelings and self-esteem so it shines in their attitude, and to empower their actions, to empower their behavior. As within, by changing and evolving ourselves, the great Hermetic teaching, so without. As within, so without. As above, so below. Bring the high self and the low self together to form the true self. And as you become in yourself, so you manifest in your life. It's a cycle, of course. Like attracts like. And one of the great things I learned from my spiritual teacher, Bruno Ferrari, was the true nature of the law of attraction and how it works. I think it's very misunderstood by many people, especially those that have just watched a video on it maybe, and some of the material that was created in 2000 and that time was missing some important things from the material. And when I was in my personal development journey in the first 5 years, 6 years, although I'm thinking very positive, there was still some difficult things happening in my life and things going wrong. And it really felt like I shouldn't be still getting a lot of this stuff going on in my life, because I've been thinking so positive now for like 4, 5, 6 years. And when I met Bruna, one of the things she helped me to understand, and I've researched it much since, is that within our body we have trillions of cells, and every moment of every day you are birthing new cells and you are shedding old cells. Your skin cells shed quickest of all. Okay? 6 weeks you're replacing your skin cells. But within a 7-year cycle, you replace every cell in your body. You're thinking, then why don't I stay 7 years old? Well, because as the new cell is born, it's encoded from the old cell. And what the science shows, we're able to slow down that process because we can keep ourselves more vibrant by being positive. And when we are positive, as each new cell is born, it's encoded not only with the old cell, but also the energy of our thought and our feeling. When we're thinking negative, then we encode cells with the negative. And my big learning with Bruna was how important it is to stay as positive as you can over a period of time, so that you're able to eliminate the negative and to enhance the positive attraction. And the way that I've achieved this most fully is by using my maps. It's important to be aware of what the challenges you need to overcome, or what is the thing in yourself you want to improve. It's important to be aware, but not to stare at it, not to give it over focus. And the way that you hold your focus on the positive is by not only creating your map, but using your map. I was quite a lot of kilos. I went a lot of kilos overweight. I just ate a lot of stuff in the COVID lockdown time. And I wanted to get the weight. And so this goal map is about me being my natural weight again, which is 88 kg. And you can see I've got this 88 kg in the symbol, and I was on the scales yesterday, and I'm 88.5 now for the last, I think it's about 1.5, 2 years that I've managed to maintain the weight. But I dropped 15 kg, and my partner Vikki did as well, using GoalMap, because you're holding a positive intention of where you want to go, what you want to do. And then with life mapping, you are holding a positive intention of who you choose to be, who you choose to be as a person. And here in my life map, you can see in the very center, I have prime purpose. Prime purpose is being all you can be. And then around the outside, mental, emotional, physical, financial, social, and spiritual. I'm stating what it looks like when I'm being my best. So mentally, when I'm being my best, I'm inspired. Emotionally, when I'm being my best, I'm uplifted. There's a different energy about me. Physically, I've got like a flow. And so in the Warrior Within, we're guiding people to not only create their goal map, but also to create their life map to be their best. And then an action map to make sure that you are minimizing any negative habits that are holding you back, and to push up, to maximize, to empower the positive habits that help you to move forwards. And again, this is one of my maps. This is my action map about going cold water swimming. And in the very center, picture me feeling invigorated after coming off the beach, because my habit that was holding me back, I was lazy with exercise. I always felt good after I exercised, but I just didn't want to exercise. And so it was really good for me to have the action map to change that behavior. And again, this is in the 7-week journey of Warrior Within. It's one of the reasons why I've come to love the program, because I'm able to connect with people each week and the other coaches that join, and help people to make sure their maps are really strong, so that they are working for them in the very best way. And then here again, you see the interlocking triangles for the self map. And this is my self map about being my true self. The inner set of diamonds are beliefs. The outer pointing diamonds are attitudes, and the spaces in between around the outside are behaviors. So I'm free in my mind. I choose my high self. I'm flowing. I love myself. I'm gentle and I'm passionate. I'm invigorated. I'm motivated and I'm active, etc., etc., etc. And again, part of the Warrior Within journey, so that you bring yourself into a higher level of being and invoke that law of attraction. And one of the examples for me that I'm still wowed by is the publication of the goal mapping book, because I tried to self-publish it and it went horribly wrong. And I promised it to a lot of people, and I was feeling really bad because people were telling me I didn't believe in myself because I'd stopped the publication of the book. And I couldn't read or write very well at the time. I'd overcome my dyslexia and I could read pretty good, but I wasn't good at spelling and grammar and punctuation. And I employed a guy to do those things for me. But I had this really bad feeling. I worked with him for some time, but the night before printing, I had this really bad feeling that something wasn't right. And so I cancelled the print. We were going to print 10,000 copies. And I stopped it. And this guy got so angry with me and was telling me I didn't believe in myself and I didn't deserve to teach personal development or goal setting because I didn't have enough belief in myself to achieve my own goals. And then I went to meet with the guy that was my promoter at the time in London. He was at a Tony Robbins seminar because he was also the guy that owned the rights to promote Tony Robbins. And I sat with him and he said, "Where's your book?" And I said, "I don't have it." And he said, "Why not?" He said, "We're going to run seminars soon and we're going to sell the book at the seminars." I said, I had this really bad feeling the night before the printing, and so I haven't printed it. And he was, again, really angry with me. And he said, you need to go and see, get some more belief in yourself. But then a couple of months after, I'm in Italy and I'm running a workshop in Italy, and I'm staying with my Italian godmother, Bruna, and I'm telling it to her, and I'm almost in tears. And she said, no, she said, I don't get the feeling that you don't believe in yourself. I think you have actually responded to intuition. You knew something was not right and you were brave enough to stop the print. And I think you've done the right thing. And the thing that was important for me was this. She said, to force the goal by the day you want it is sometimes ego. But if you don't achieve a goal by the time you want to, put your hand on your heart and ask, is this a good goal? And if in your heart you hear, yes, this is a good goal, then keep the intention, keep the goal, and just give more time. Do some thinking, take some feedback, see if there's a different plan, but keep the goal. Give more time. Hold the intention, be flexible. And it's a key teaching in Warrior Within. We have a special term for it, a movement with repose. Again, it's a very ancient principle coming from Gnosticism. Right brain and left brain, set the intention, have an ease in how you flow towards it. When I was back in England, there was a whole sequence of positive things that happened for me. And I was asked to write a magazine article about goal mapping. And that article became very popular and was republished in other magazines. And then a publisher was phoning me and saying, we want it, we'll publish it. And they become the ideal publisher for me, better than anything I could have imagined. It only happened because I listened to the language of nature and intuition. I looked for the synchronicities with Bruner's guidance. I kept the heart around the intention, but also worked smart. And when my book was published, I was sent this poster by the editor-chief at the publishing company. And here is my goal mapping book, and it is immediately next to the Gospel of Thomas, which is the first esoteric book that I read, given to me by Bruno in Italy. And above it is Nostradamus, and below it you can see Marcus Aurelius and Buddha and Rumi, whose quote we looked at earlier. And all of these books are books that I'd admired over many years, and I never even knew that my publisher published these books. In fact, they're the oldest spiritual publisher in England, and I'm their only personal development book here, and there's one other a cookery book down in the corner. In the Warrior Within journey, it's a path, and we help people to get clear on their vision for the future. And what does your ideal life look like in the future? And right now, even though we've not completed the presentation tonight, just think about this for a moment. If you were to bring out your inner warrior, if you were to find that inner spirit in you that's got true belief and heart and power, what difference do you think that would make to your life? What challenges might it help you to overcome? In what ways would you be different? And how would that change your life by you being different? Just contemplate it for a moment. If you were to find that inner warrior and bring it out and live it on a daily basis, what difference would it make for you? And for anyone that's on the call, and I can't see the full screen because I've only got my small laptop with me. And so people that have been on Warrior Within before, please write in the chat. What difference has it made for you to bring out your inner warrior? I know all types of people have changed all sorts of behaviors, given up alcohol, for instance, lost weight, found their ideal true partner, or overcome fear to go back to work. What difference would finding that inner warrior make for you? Imagine that purpose in life is like a journey. It's a lifelong journey. Goals are the things we aim for along the journey. Sometimes the goals are physical. They're about things we want to have or things we want to achieve. And other times the goals are mental and emotional, ways we want to change, ways we want to grow, to feel different, think differently. If ever you're unsure of your path, look to your passions. Your passions, the things that make your heart sing, are the signposts pointing to your life path. If ever you're unsure, always look to your heart. And in Warrior Within, we explore 3 levels of purpose, and we have a set of empowering questions we ask and exercises to help people find their purpose. And there's a fundamental syntax or a sequence to success. Be. That's where the power comes from. Being your best gives great power to what you do, which leads you to have. Be, do, have. Prime purpose is be your best. It's the purpose we're actually born with. It's the vibe of evolution, become more. And humans have such a high level of free will that we can override that natural urge to be all we can be, and we can choose to be less. We can choose to be worth less. We can choose to be less in many different ways. And so the prime purpose is to choose to be more. And we have a great teaching around this, but the tool that brings it alive is life mapping. Because your life map is focused on who you are being. And then life purpose is about finding your heart, finding the thing that makes your heart sing, that mission. Like for me, it's teaching personal development. And that's what a goal map is for. The top part of the goal map is all about what you want to have, and the bottom part of the goal map is about what you need to do to have it and who you need to be. And together they form this fundamental principle, be, do, have. So prime purpose, be your best. Life purpose, follow the thing that makes your heart sing. And then there's one more, higher purpose. Higher purpose, leave the world a better place. Do what you can with what you have to help in some small way make the world a better place. For me and Vikki, it's often things like picking up plastic off of our local beaches. It's just a contribution, but it's something to help make the world a better place. And it's when you bring these 3 levels together that you're being your best and you're following the thing that makes your heart sing. And as a consequence of that, you're enriching the world. That's when you are fully powerful. And it's also, of course, the aim within Warrior Within. And that's why we include all the different mapping systems, because there is a mighty warrior within all of us, waiting to be set free. What kind of warrior might you be? And it's not always consistent. Sometimes we need to be a very patient, peaceful warrior. And other times we need to be an absolutely courageous, brave, energetic warrior. What are the warrior qualities? Right now, greater belief, authentic confidence. What are the warrior qualities that would so support you in your life at this time? Well, in Warrior Within, we map them out. We map out where you want to go, what you want to do, who you will need to be, how you need to work on to bring yourself together, to bring together the high self and the low self, and to travel your path with power. 7-week journey starting week 1 is initiation week, where we're setting everybody up in the team, making sure everybody understands where we're going. And we dive into the deep content straight away. Principle number 1, raise awareness. I've got some amazing exercises about understanding and then changing your paradigm and how you see yourself, how you see other people, how you see life. Because your paradigm, your inner selfie, is what regulates everything. And we create also in the 2 hours, each week is 2 hours. And so half is sharing and breakout rooms and exercises, and then always a mapping part. And life mapping is what happens in week 1. And then in week 2, we move on to look at self-belief, and in particular, how you build more self-belief, the I can mentality. And the mapping we start there is to map out your low self. What does it look like when you're not being your best? And we use self-mapping for this. And then in week 3, it's self-esteem week. How you raise your true self-esteem. And if you imagine self-esteem rising up like a magnificent tree, it produces fruit, such as self-confidence, caring, sharing, empathy. And so in week 3, we create the high self map. And this is a map of what it looks like when you're being your absolute best. And then week 4, this is purpose week. And we explore all 3 levels of purpose: prime purpose, life purpose, higher purpose. And we complete the self-mapping exercise. And we delete the low self because you don't need a reminder of that. And you just work then with your high self map, as I have here, because it becomes a reminder to your conscious and subconscious of your deepest desires about being your true self. You can see week 4 right in the middle, equinox week. And then week 5 is about understanding law of attraction and finding your flow. And if you imagine you're like a surfer in the flow, if you've got something sticking out in the water, it really disturbs your flow. And often what disturbs somebody's flow is they've got a behavior, a physical behavior, a habit that is creating turbulence in their flow. And so week 5 is all about aligning yourself, making sure that your habits are all in alignment with your attitudes and your beliefs. And again, here's my action map, which I use to change the habit of laziness into active. And then week 6, celebration week. And this is all about focusing on what's best about you and creating a goal map for your future vision. And then week 7, recognition week, and an ongoing journey, because as part of Warrior Within, you gain access to the Warrior Within Lounge. All of the video is there for you to watch, and you have premium level of the software so that you can create all the maps and continue to use the lounge and the software. So the end of the 7 weeks is not the end of the journey. And many people continue going to the Warrior Within Lounge every week, either because they want to connect with a buddy And we have a buddy system so that you've got someone that can help hold you accountable, just using the text messaging if you wish, or you can arrange a quick call or however you want to do it using social media. And we also have a random room selector that we use every week. We go through life balance check, and we use various tools and exercises, plus the breakout rooms, to help people break free, to find a new level in themselves. Each week builds on the last week. We encourage people to engage in some of the exercises we run, like the big apple experiment, where you take an apple, sterilize it, cut it in half, put it in separate containers, one we love, one we hate, or whatever words you want to write, and focus the mind and see the effect that it has. And we check in on this every week as we go through the Warrior Within journey. There's a lot of information in the program. I've covered as much as possible this evening, but I like always to bring it back to essence for people. And the essence of the program are these 4 points. Warrior Within will help you to believe in yourself so that you follow your heart. Make a stand for yourself and what you believe in and the life that you know that you deserve and desire, and to find your flow. The best way for you to go to live your best life. The full price of the program, $499 plus VAT. That equals, there's no VAT for people joining from Europe, but the Euro price, $585. But our early bird offer, the special price we have is $299 plus VAT for people in England, and $349 for people booking outside of the UK. And I could spend a lot of time telling you about all of the different breakthroughs and value people have had from the program. Hand on heart, it is the most powerful program that I've created. We've never had anyone ever ask for their money back. In fact, people want to come back to the program, which is why we have this special deal that people come back and bring a guest for a really discounted price if they wish to. Nobody's asked for their money back, but if you are not fully happy, then there is a full money back guarantee. And so here's the link, and I know Vikki's going to post it in the chat. I don't know if I have the QR code coming up or not. Bonus to add is that as part of Warrior Within, you have gold membership for a year. And we're also, for anyone booking tonight and tonight only, we're giving an extra bonus, which is a coaching session with a coach of your choice from our coach registry. We have some amazing coaches that are certified in all the Warrior Within techniques, and many of them will be TP leaders within the program. And so if you're joining the program, you can choose one of the TP leaders as your coach or one of the other coaches from the registry, so that you're getting an even extra lift to yourself in applying the content and moving your life to a higher level. And you can use that coaching token whenever you wish. So it can be during the program or after the program, or even if you wish before the program, but I don't recommend that. I recommend getting into the program, and then when it feels right for you, to use your coaching token and choose one of the coaches. Many of them will be on the program, but there are others also in the registry, to really help you to integrate the program, to put it into your life in the very best way, and to use it for yourself. I'm going to come off of the screen share and just see the full screen, and to ask if anyone has any questions they would like to ask, to unmute their microphone, and please do ask those questions. And I can see we've still got quite a few warriors here on the call. And so is there someone who's been on Warrior Within that would like to unmute their microphone and just share a few words about what the program's done for you? Edmund, I see your hand go up. Nice to see you tonight, Edmund.
Thanks very much. Good evening into you from Ireland. Yeah, I've been on the Warrior Within program quite a few times, and I found it very beneficial. I just shared there in the comments that in September 22, I had the opportunity of doing a goal mapping, and I used the Warrior Within processes as well. And my goal was to give up eating chocolate, biscuits, and sweets. And then Halloween came, but no inclination at all. Christmas came, no inclination. And fast forward now to January 24, and still no chocolate, biscuits, and sweets. So the processes work. You work
Oh, well
the process.
done. Well
You know.
done.
So thank you. So that's what I'm saying. The process work if you work the process. So I would highly recommend the Warrior Within. Thank you.
Thank you, Edmund. Congratulations as well. Jackie, I see your hand up.
Hi, this is my first time. Can I just ask, when would the course start, and will there be a Facebook group as well? What date would it start? Right. I'm already in so many Facebook groups.
There's a Facebook group, and it's completely optional whether you want to be in the Facebook group or not, because we have everything contained within the special private area in the goal mapping platform. And we've built the Warrior Within. It's like a reservation. We've got 7 TPs, and inside the TPs, there's more information and different elders, if you like, or people
experience. It's worked off the website. Off the website rather. Oh, better. That's much better. Yeah.
But we use Facebook as a way to, if people want to, they can just share there through social media. But many just want to work with the website, because we have our own messaging system in the website as well, and chat system, buddy system. And so, no, there's no need to go to Facebook unless you wish to.
Okay, thank you. And I've just seen a message come out. 28th of Feb that it starts.
28th of Feb is when it starts, and would have been useful in my presentation for sure.
Sorry, if you did, I missed it. I'm sorry. I've been up and down to my dad tonight, so I apologise.
No,
thank you very much.
I forgot to put it in. Thank you for that. And I haven't saw the QR code wasn't there, so apologies for that. But for anyone that wants to go check out the information page, registration, just click the link that Vikki's posted in the chat. Anybody else like to share a breakthrough they've had, or something that the Warrior Inn's done for them? Mary Louise, I see your hand is up, and then I'll go to you, Sally.
Yes. Hi, everyone from West Coast of Sweden. This will be my 3rd time at Warrior Within, and I will highly recommend it to you, because this will give you a possibility to take out the strength in you, and to fulfill, and to have your subconscious mind to work for you. And you can do it in your own way, in your own pace, and you can also, well, there is a bunch of very good people in this group, and you will have all the support you need. So take the opportunity, and you can also, I think you will find it as given as I have.
Well, thank you, Mary Louise. Nice to see you again tonight.
Nice
Sally Coles Robinson.
Hi everyone, and hi Edmund. We did Warrior Within together, so it's lovely to see you on the call tonight. I think for me, Brian, looking back at my old goal maps back from when I first saw you speak in 2014.
Yeah.
And
was that in Warwickshire there
winter.
somewhere? Yeah. Okay. Was it at the university?
No, I can't. It was at a big conference, and what was firstly was introduced to Sam the Magic Genie, and I think that book for me and my obviously I'm dyslexic and my ADHD son has helped all our family, not just the child but the adults as well. So I would urge anyone to read that. I think from Warrior Within, I think for me personally, I think it's all about learning about your physiology and how to recognize when our hearts are singing and what that feels like, and how to like jump back into that feeling, how to get back into that place when you've lost yourself a little bit. So psychologically, physically, like physiology, it's been the best thing for me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sally. No, I really appreciate that. I saw just now somebody writing a message about they can't attend every week. We record every week. Some people aren't able to make the live, but they watch the recording and then they're catching up, because not everyone that attends Warrior Within is on the same time zone. So if you're not able to attend every week live, it's on a Wednesday evening, 7 p.m. UK time, which is 8 p.m. Central European time. And the recordings are there. We leave the recordings up, in fact, the whole year. And the other thing that I saw coming up as a question is it repeated? Yes, we repeat every 6 months. And we always run on the equinox. Cephas, I see your hand is up. Nice to see you tonight.
Hello, this is Cephas from Wolverhampton in the UK. I've been on the Warrior Within for a number of times. Initially, I was a bit hesitant because I thought it was a bit too deep and too conflicting in some of my learning in the past. But what I discovered was that there's always wisdom from different areas of the world. And with an open mind, you can gain a lot. And the more you gain, then you can start sharing as well. And the more I share, the more I learn. And again, I've been a teacher most of my life. But the more I teach, the more I learn again. So Warrior Within has just been a very exciting journey for me. And I recommend it to anybody, whether you learn to learn or you want to teach. You can join this group and you will benefit both ways. Thank you.
That's really nice, Steve. And of course, you did a goal map, I know, to manage your diabetes, didn't you?
Yeah.
So, let me just ask, any more questions anyone would like to ask before we start to bring things to a close this evening? I did see a question just now in the chat saying, do you recommend coming together with a partner or just on yourself? Many people come with a partner and we'll do the program together. It can be whatever feels right for you. And we have people of all ages that attend the program as well. And so whatever your desire, whatever your wish, it's the combination of the techniques in the program together with the deeper principles, having the buddy system that really creates the power that is helping people to have these breakthroughs or break free. Jackie, did you have your hand up?
Yes. Sorry, just one quick question. I am signing up. I just wanted to ask, if you said you can bring your partner along, does that mean you have to pay twice?
No, we'll do a special deal if you want to bring your partner. I'm looking down at my partner because she's the accountant in the partnership. So I'm getting a nod of approval. Yeah, she'll message you on it. If any of you want to bring your partner, we will do a special deal for you to bring your partner, because I think it's a really healthy thing to do. And I know from many of the people that have attended with their partner, they will often be talking about what's happened in that in the program for the rest of the week until you get to the next program. And of course, they're doing
that's
the
what I'm
map
hoping.
together, you know? Doing your maps together makes a big difference, rather than going to your partner and saying, here's what I'm going to do. You know, doing the maps together is a more evolved way forward. And so I'm glad you asked the question, and it come up in the chat earlier. I don't always think of all of these things to mention because there's a lot. But,
is it going to be the same night every week?
Yeah, always on the Wednesday, and always 7 p.m. and 2 hours. And normally some exercises and a little challenge to engage in through the week before the next week. And we have little face the fear challenges. But one of the keys, Jackie, is that, you know, in each week we're given exercises, some of them very, very practical exercises, either about self-calming, but one of the new things I'm going to include this time round is techniques for memory. And it's good for all ages. Young people, older people, all of us benefit if we've got a good memory. And I've worked with some of the world's top memory champions, and I used to teach memory techniques. But then teaching goal mapping became the main thing for me, and I stopped. But it's a good thing to include in Warrior Within. And so during the week, we give people little techniques to practice through the week until the next week, or to work on their map through the week. And it's not a big time commitment, but it makes such a fundamental difference. And it hasn't been possible for me to run programs like this before, because a physical-based program is sort of 1 day, 2 day, maybe 3 days. But here we can have this gap between these presentations, and in the gap is the practice time. And the reason why it works so well with this program is because that practice time forms the brain cell connections that start to become beliefs, that release the chemicals, that change the attitudes. And if you're working with an accountability buddy, it takes it to another level again. And that's why we now also, you know, for anyone booking it this evening, we are including the coaching session. And for those people that, if you're bringing a partner, we will do gold code for both of you, and we will do coaching session for both of you, because otherwise it just won't be right. Okay, so
thank you very much.
Treated equally with it. I don't know why, but there's a poem that I want to close with, and it's one that was sent to me right at the start of my personal development journey by a guy I've not seen now for more than 20 years. And I used to tell this poem a lot in my workshops, and then I stopped. I don't know why I stopped. I think because I was doing a lot of corporate workshops, and so it didn't always feel right. But it's a very fitting poem for what Warrior Within is about. It's by a man named Henry Van Dyke, and I hope that being spontaneous, I'm going to remember it because I wasn't planning to do it. I hold it true that thoughts are things, they're endowed with bodies, breath and wings, and that we send them forth to fill the world with good results or ill. That which we call our secret thought speeds forth to earth's remotest spots and spreads its blessings or its woes like tracks behind it as it goes. We build our future thought by thought, yet so the universe is wrought. Thought is another name for fate. Choose then thy destiny and wait, for love brings love and hate brings hate. You become what you think about.
That's really powerful. Thank you. And
you
it's
become
a good
your main thought yourself.
Course. It's a very good memory course. A very good advert for the memory course as well. Lovely poem. Thank you.
Think the best about yourselves, my friends. Thank you for coming this evening. I really do hope to see you on the program. I believe it's the best investment you can make in yourself. But if you're not completely happy, remember there is that money back guarantee. Lots of love to you all, and thank you for those people sharing this evening. Take very good care, and I think the early bird and special offer is open through until midnight and includes the coaching session as well. Take care. Bye-bye for now. Thank you for joining.